Hi everybody. My name is Vanessa from Oh My Pops. I'm sure you guys, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have seen my cakesicles, my creations that I've been doing. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I'm super duper excited to create cakesicles along your side. I will be answering questions along the way. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask me. I'm going to be showing you the tools that I use, my favorite items, my favorite glitter for my cakesicles. So just before we start, I hope you guys have your things ready. I do have my cakesicle mold, I have my sprinkles, and I have my cake and all my decor items. But just a little background I want to share with you guys while you guys get your things ready. So I did start Oh My Pops in September of 2020. I started it in the midst of being a stay-at-home mom. I was working for a very long time, and I became a stay-at-home mommy. I do have 3 beautiful daughters. But in the midst of that, I lost focus on myself. I was, of course, focusing all my attention to my daughters and my husband and being a wife and a mom. And I came one day to, just ask myself, like, I need to do something with myself. What can I do? What should I do, as a stay-at-home mom? And that's when I came across a cakesicle. I came across it on TikTok and I ordered my mold and I started practicing. And, I know it sounds cliche, but it really did help me. I fell into depression, anxiety as being a stay-at-home mommy, but thank God this has really helped me. So I really hope I can inspire you with my story and just with everything that I make. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I have my mold. This is a silicone mark mold. This is the mini ones. I do not use the large ones, but if you do, that's totally okay. So we're gonna start with the mold. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? Let me bring it down just a bit. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's my mold. I have my chocolate ready. With your chocolate, you guys, you wanna make sure that it's at the right consistency, okay? When you start to see, for example, this one is perfect. When you start to see like cracking, what we call elephant skin, it's because your chocolate is too hot. So you can just set it to the side and let it cool down. And then just stir, try not to stir, not too fast. Just stir until you get the right consistency like I do right here. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna do a white cakesicle and then I'm gonna do a green cakesicle, okay? So let's start with the white. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour some in to my mold. Okay, just like that. So you're gonna add it into your mold. What you wanna do is tap it. That way it covers the bottom part, okay? So you wanna tap your mold. Once you tap it, you guys, you wanna go ahead and cover the edges. Okay, and we're gonna do 2 layers of this. That way the edges don't crack when you pull it out, okay? So go ahead and just cover the edges. If you need to grab more chocolate, you can, that's not a problem. So you're gonna go ahead and just cover the entire edge, okay? Just as so. Okay, now I'm gonna add more chocolate because you can see that I kind of grabbed some from the center. You can dab it a little bit as well. So I'm gonna add a little bit more chocolate just so that it covers and there's no like blank spots. So when we take the cakesicle out, it's completely. And you can use a brush. You can use whatever it is that you want to do the edges. I like to use a popsicle stick, to be honest with you. And you can just move it around. Let me add some chocolate here. Okay. Like I said, if you need to get more chocolate, you can grab it with your popsicle stick or whatever tool you like to use. Okay, so that's the white one. Like I said, we're gonna do a white and we're gonna do a green. For the green, I'm gonna go ahead and add some chocolate into my glass cup. Okay, I do recommend using glass and not plastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some in here, and I'm gonna show you the color, the candy color that I like to use. There's only two that I use. I like Color Mill, but today we're gonna use Chef Master. I'm gonna put my gloves on because it is messy. So as the white one, I'm sorry, is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and just color my candy. When coloring your chocolate, you guys, please make sure you're using oil-based candy color, not gel. I made the mistake when I first started. I used gel color, but unfortunately it does not mix well with chocolate. So make sure when you buy your candy color, it's oil-based. Now I'm gonna use the green. My bottles, they do tend to get like that, but this is the green Chef Master. I really like their candy color. It's really good. I'm just gonna put a drop and then you're gonna mix it. If it does dry up, you guys, there's times where it does happen to me. Like for example, right now it's a perfect example. It's stiff, okay, but that's totally okay. You can go ahead and add some oil in it. You can use vegetable oil or you can use coconut oil. Or you can just also heat it up just for a little bit, not too much, for about 10 seconds in the microwave. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit more chocolate. And honestly, you guys, chocolate can be so tricky. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it is a little frustrating. And then a lot of it has to do with the weather. Let me go ahead and get some oil real quick to put some on. I'm gonna use a little bit of vegetable oil. And it's a little cold out here where I'm at. So a lot has to do with the weather. And this chocolate color is not working for me. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more, you guys. It's not working. It's being totally stubborn right now. So this is actually perfect, guys. I want to show you. The chocolate can get like this. Okay, when it's too hot, or like I said, weather has a lot to do with it. You could put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, not too long, and it will soothe it out. And I think I'm gonna have to do that because it's not working for me at all. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, there it goes. So chocolate is a little tricky, you guys. I remember when I first started, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is easy. I just have to melt it, but no. Once you start to, get to know your chocolate, you start to realize how much temperature comes into play, how to get the right consistency, things like that. But you can see it is getting better. It's still a little grainy, so I might just stick with the white, you guys. I don't want to use this and then it's not going to come out great. Let me continue to stir. If you guys have any questions, let me go ahead and check if there's questions. What type of, okay, so Kara from Facebook is asking, what type of chocolate do you suggest to use for the outside of the pops? Okay, Kara, so I use Merkin's all the way. Merkin's chocolate to me has been definitely the best chocolate that I've used. I did start off with candy melts because I really didn't know much about chocolate. But now that I've stepped into the Merkin's chocolate, that is definitely the chocolate you can go with. So you can use Merkin's chocolate. I never really have to use any type of oil to get it to the right consistency, and it tastes amazing. And then in a bit, I'm going to show you when we do the shamrock decor, I'm using my modeling chocolate. And I also used my Merkin's chocolate that I made it myself. And all you need is Merkin's chocolate and corn syrup. Okay, guys, so here is one. I'm going to go ahead and create. Now, you guys want to go ahead and make the mold. I'm sorry, put the stick in just like that. And then go ahead and add a second layer to the edges. Okay, that way when we pop the Cakesicle out, the edges don't crack. That's something that took me a while to practice. When I first started, I just did one layer, and I had no idea why the sides were cracking until I did my research. I started, following a lot of, Cakesicle makers that knew exactly what they were doing, until I realized that putting a second layer on the edges is very, very important. Okay. Okay. So I think this is good. Go ahead and just double. Okay. So I went ahead and added a second layer. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I have my cake. You can use whatever cake you want. What I do, as soon as it's out of the oven, I throw it in my KitchenAid mixer and I mix it until I get like a Play-Doh-like consistency. So this one actually is perfect. It's a perfect mix. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and just fill in the Cakesicle. Go ahead and fill it in. Okay, let me go ahead and read some questions while you guys fill in the cake. Let's see. Susan from Facebook. Do you add icing to the cake mix or just plain cake? I do. I do like to add icing, definitely. I do have an option because it is sweet. And a lot of people don't really want, a sweet, because the chocolate is sweet as it is. They don't want it as sweet. So I do have the option of with icing or without icing. But personally, I do love the icing. It gives it a nicer texture. But when I do no icing, as soon as it's out of the oven, that's why I put it in the mixer. Because when it comes out as the same consistency as if I were to put icing in it. So it's not dry, it doesn't crumble when you bite it. It's very, very Play-Doh-y, so it's perfect. But it really is up to you if you want to add icing or not. I do add icing, but I also let my customers know that I have the option of no icing if they don't want it to be too sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to add my popsicle sticks. I do use, let me show you. I do like to use the mini popsicle sticks compared to the long ones, just so that when the customer takes a bite, they won't bite the popsicle stick. So with the mini popsicle sticks, of course, they'll take a bite and they won't feel the stick until the end of the Cakesicle. So it should look like this. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cover it. So we're going to go ahead and add the back part. And I do like to leave, it's just a little tip. I do like to leave a small space between the cake and the mold open. That way chocolate can fall in there and it'll have a good grip on the stick. I know a lot of people have issues, and I did all the time when I first started, where the stick wouldn't, the end of the popsicle wouldn't stick to the Cakesicle. So it would come out, or it would crack, or it would break. So what I do is I add I leave a little space, I'm sorry, between the cakesicle, the end of the cakesicle and the stick. That way the chocolate falls through and it'll, you know, it'll create a good grip between the stick and the mold. Okay, so you can go ahead and just tap it a little bit. There's no air bubbles, and you can definitely smooth it out, but I'm going to show you guys a trick that I personally like to use when the edges of the cakesicle are not like they're out and they're not smooth. So I'll show you guys a trick. I'm going to put this in my freezer. No more than 2 to 3 minutes, you guys, only because when you do that and you over freeze a chocolate, then that's how the cracking starts to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and while I do that, I'm going to show you my modeling chocolate. Okay, so we'll put that in the freezer. While that sits, if you guys have questions, you guys can go ahead and ask away. I'm going to go ahead and check if we have any. Not right now. Okay. Now we are going to be using modeling chocolate. You don't have to use modeling chocolate. You can use fondant as well. I know a lot of people do not like fondant, the taste of it. I personally do. I do like the fondant taste. But I did find a very good friend of mine. She sent me the recipe of how to do your own modeling chocolate, which to me, that's all I've been using. So very easy, you guys. I only use 16 ounces of melted Merkin's chocolate and 4 ounces of corn syrup. The corn syrup, you add it in the microwave for only 10 seconds. And then you put it in, and you mix it together. And then that's it. You create your modeling chocolate. You can use that for anything, and it tastes so good. Okay, let's check questions. So Glenda Lopez is asking, do you bake the cake per box instructions or make any modifications? Yeah, so instead of half a cup, I use 1/3 of a cup of oil. And I find that to be a lot better when mixing the cake. For example, if you don't want to use icing, the consistency is perfect. But other than that, I do use the instructions as it's said on the box. Okay. So I am kneading my modeling chocolate. I want to get it right. And with this, you can also use the candy color that you used for your cakesicle. Unfortunately, like I said, my green came out really, really bad, but it's okay. We'll make it work. With the modeling chocolate, you can use the Chef Master, or you can use the Color Mill, or any candy color. Remember, oil-based and not gel-based. I know it can be confusing, and I did get confused in the beginning, and my chocolate came out horrible. So it has to be oil-based. Let's see, we have another question. Cindy asked, I've seen videos where they put the cake in the molds and then dip in chocolate. Yes, so I personally tried that. I need to practice. I didn't get the dipping method good, and I wasn't able to do it. The pro about that is that when you bite into the cakesicle, the chocolate is very smooth. It's not hard at all. So it is very good. I do prefer, when it comes to eating it, I do prefer the dipping method because it's smooth and it's so, so good. But I personally do like using the mold because of the shine that it gives. And for me, it's just a little bit easier to decorate because I have that hard surface to work with, especially with me using my hot glue, my torch, and my sprinkles. Okay, so I am working on, this is my modeling chocolate, and we're going to use this for the shamrock leaves that we're going to go ahead and do real quick. And I'm going to show you the tools that I use for that. Very, very easy. You don't need anything, expensive. I'll show you where I got them as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our cakesicles. They should be done. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down so we can take them out together, okay? I always like to touch the back, make sure it's, when taking them out, you guys, don't just pop them out. I do like to just separate the edges, the bottom, okay, before you pop it out. So make sure it's not together, and then you just pop. Okay, so here's one, and I'm going to show you, if you get these edges right here, I'm going to show you a quick tip, secret that I use to get them off. Okay, so here we have, you know what, let me take my gloves off because I'm getting green paint on them and I don't want that. Okay, so I have these two, and I'm going to show you what I use is a peeler, potato peeler, a cheese peeler, whatever it is that you want to use. And let me show you, I'm just going to literally shave the edges. I saw this on TikTok as well, and it's a lifesaver. And you can just smooth the edges out and just make sure you're very careful because you don't want to overdo it, and then you'll get like some, oh, like you razor it too much or you peel it too much. I hope this works out for you. Honestly, this worked out for me so much, you guys. It helped me out a lot to get those edges smooth. So then you have this, the perfect edge. I'm going to go ahead and do that to this other one. And there's no special peeler, you guys. Just, you can even go to the 99-cent store, your local dollar store, and just get one. Make sure it's dedicated for your cakesicles only. You don't want to use this, you know, on your potatoes or your actual food. So make sure you get one just for your cakesicles. Okay, so now we have the cakesicles ready to decorate. So that's where the fun part honestly begins for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show, I'm gonna get my mat. I'm gonna go ahead and place it down because now we're gonna work with the modeling chocolate, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and create the shamrock leaves. I'm gonna do 2, okay? So you're gonna grab your rolling pin. Okay, and just kind of flatten it out a little bit. Okay, and to create, I actually posted this video on my Instagram. If you haven't seen it, it's on there. I'm going to use these stampers, and this one here, I'm gonna see if you can, it's a heart. Okay, so 4 of these will create 1 shamrock leaf. So I think, I thought this was perfect. So these I got on Amazon as well, but I am using the smallest size, okay? Let me ask you some questions real quick. How do you store the modeling chocolate that you make, and how long does it last? Thanks. Okay, definitely the modeling chocolate. I did my research once I did it. You can store it. You can have it out for up to 4 to 6 months. I store it in a plastic wrap. I wrap it well with plastic, and then I put it in a sandwich bag. If you leave it in the freezer, it's good for a very long time. So if you use a lot of modeling chocolate where you need a big batch, I mean, I think it's perfect. So I put mine in. It's good for 4 to 6 months in the fridge or even out. Okay, so it does last a long time. Let's see, another question. Janet from Facebook is asking, if using dark or milk chocolate, would it still be the same process? It would be. Honestly, it's the same thing. I worked with both. I haven't had to do anything different. Just, of course, color-wise, if you're using chocolate, I mean, obviously it'll be a brown color, but I have not, since I've used milk chocolate or brown chocolate and my white Merkins, the process is the same. I haven't had an issue with that. Of course, if you want, my favorite thing about the milk chocolate is that when you need to do black, you just have to add a little bit of it, and you'll get that perfect black color. But yeah, you don't have to, it's the same process for me with both of them, okay? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, if you have modeling chocolate or fondant, You can use whatever you want. You're going to go ahead and just stamp, okay, the heart. Oops. Okay, and just put it to the side. So I'm going to do 2 shamrock leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out 8 hearts, okay? And if you want it bigger or small, you can use whatever heart size you want. 2, 3, 4. So let's do 2 more. And then we're going to go ahead and put it together, okay? So one will have the shamrock leaves and then one will have plain sprinkles. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this to the side. We're going to go ahead and grab our cakesicle. And what we're going to do, you can use your fingers or you can use, I like to use these tweezers. Let me show you guys. And these are so easy to grab. For example, these hearts, I can grab them and decorate them, okay? So we're going to go, let me bring this down a bit more. Okay, so what I use to glue everything on, if you guys have seen my Instagram, I like to use a butane torch. This one in particular, my husband bought it for me, but you can get it on Amazon. You can get them, honestly, at Walmart. You can get them anywhere. Even the butane to refill it, you can get it there. But this one personally was gifted to me. And this is what I use to glue like my sprinkles. And you'll see right now, I'm going to demonstrate to you how I use my sprinkles. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this to add the leaves. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started decorating. So I'm going to slightly just run through it. I'm not going to, you don't want to hold the torch too close or for too long because then you will melt your cakesicle and we don't want that. Okay, so you're going to start adding the hearts. Okay, one by one. And I'm going to do one on each corner. So here's one. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my torch again. Okay. And we'll do another one down here. Okay. So here we have our shamrock cakesicle. Let me go ahead and fix it a little bit. It looks like it's kind of opened on this side. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and add the stem once the chocolate dries up, okay? So this is what the shamrock leaves look like. Now we're gonna go ahead and do sprinkles, okay? And I do have these green sprinkles. These are from Sweeta Polita. And I got them from Berry Couture Sprinkles. I personally love these so much. And if you guys don't know, you guys, I'm going to tell you now, I'm obsessed with sprinkles. Sprinkles make everything better. So I'm going to go ahead and use these, okay? So again, I'm going to use my torch. If you don't have a torch, that's okay. You can drizzle the sprinkle on as well, okay? Or you can drizzle chocolate and then add the sprinkles on top if you don't have one of these. But this, I definitely work with it all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and run it through. Okay, now I'm going to start adding my sprinkles. I'm going to do the big sprinkle balls. I do like to add these first. Okay, and then we'll do a lime green. And if you have to run it again, because it does dry up, you can. Okay, and I like to do mine at an angle. If you haven't noticed, I love to do them at an angle. But you can add the sprinkles however you like, to your liking. That's totally up to you. And then there you have your cakesicle. Okay, so these are the St. Patrick's inspired ones. Let's go ahead, and the chocolate should be dry. Let's add the stem. I am using Chef Master edible markers. You can get these on their website as well. These are the only ones I've worked with and I love them a lot. So let's go ahead and just draw the stem out real quick. This one we'll do this way. And then this one we'll go ahead and bring it out like this. Something simple, but yeah, it's super, super fun to do. So these are your leaves. And then if you want to add glitter, like me, I love to add glitter to everything. I do like to use Bagel. Sorry, it's a little shiny. Tinker Dust. They are definitely my favorite to work with. I love their Tinker Dust. And you can just splash that on there, or you can brush it on. You can add it on the leaves if you'd like. I like to go crazy with my glitter. I really, really do. And then it has that gold shine to it. Okay, so this is a process I do to make all my cakesicles. I really hope you guys liked it. I hope it was easy. I really, really do for you guys. Let me go ahead and answer some questions. What is the modeling? Leona is asking the modeling chocolate. Yes, I use 16 ounces of melted. Let me go ahead and bring it up to my face now. I use 16 ounces of melted Merkins chocolate. And then I also use 4 ounces of corn syrup. You put it in the microwave for 10 seconds only. And then you put it in wherever you have your melted chocolate, I'm sorry. And when you stir it, as soon as it starts sticking away from the bowl that you're using, don't stir it anymore. Take it out, wrap it in plastic wrap for at least an hour, and then it's ready to use. You can dye it if you want. I don't dye it until after, I'll cut a piece off of the modeling chocolate, and then I'll dye it with whatever color I need. And then, yeah, it's very, very easy, you guys, and it stores for a long time. But I do recommend it more than fondant. I do like it more than fondant, even though I do like how fondant tastes. When I tell my customers, because a lot of them like to order a week before or even a couple of days before, I wouldn't go longer than a week and a half, just because that's when the cake starts to dry, and I don't want them to bite into it. And when cake dries up, it's not good. I usually don't recommend for it to go longer than that for my customer. But since when I practice on them, just a little trick, I only use chocolate for all my practice cakesicles. And those sometimes I have them just sitting there because they're so pretty. I can't let them go. But yeah, so for today I used Bagel, Tinker Dust. Like I said, if you guys follow me on Instagram, that's all I use. I love glitter. I love their Tinker Dust. It's amazing to work with. And yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed my class, my tutorial. This is the first time I make one, so sorry if I was stuttering, but I had such a good time with you guys. Let's see, we have a couple more. Have you added alcohol? Okay, so Cindy's asking, have you added alcohol to the cake for adult cakesicles? I haven't. I have not tried that because I'll probably end up drinking it. I'm just kidding. I won't. I haven't tried that. That's actually a really good idea, but I've only really done basic cakesicles, but I do have a tutorial coming in very, very soon. I'll be adding caramel in the center of the cakesicle, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. And if you guys have questions, go ahead and send me messages on Instagram. I'm always replying, and I always love to help.